All right, welcome back again, ladies and gentlemen, here now to our second map between Navi and Heroic. We just witnessed the first one there. Was a little bit of a swing around, as Heroic initially were starting off great. In fact, I think it was like something like 7-1 or something like that at one point. I think it was like 7-0 before we finally saw Navi really start picking up rounds. But when they did that, a little bit of inconsistency trading initially, but they really got going towards the end of their first half. And unfortunately for the Heroic guys, they got really in full control of things into the second half. Heroic were only really able to pick up 1 or 2 rounds overall on their T side, and pretty much got dunked on from that point forward. So it was Navi that took control there, and that was their map pick. Now we do move over to the second map here now on Nuke, and this is going to be the Heroic pick. So we will see if anything is going to change up here. If Heroic has a little bit more fight left in them, or if Navi is going to be able to just trounce right through this one and take the 2-0 victory and the ticket to Katowice, say, punch themselves their pass. Well, maybe Heroic can steal this away, though, and take us to map number 3 over on, I think it was Cobble, if I recall correctly. It's still very early for me, but Monty, we can hear that from at range. We didn't see it, of course, but the dunked kill from him. 2 more kills come out from the Navi side and 1 more for the CT, so it's even. Down to a 3v3, but C's playing around with a door, Houdini over there, picking up the kill, along with Edward also finding one against Nico, and it leaves everything to Valde now in a 1v3. Sneaking in, he looks for Guardian as they fight in the old trophy room. Unfortunately, Valde's going to be pushed away with only 17 HP, so more than likely, it is going to just be Navi taking control of this one, and there you have it. Guardian with the closeout to take it, and Navi up 1-0 again to start things off. The pistol round victory is theirs, and what's great about this, again, is that this is happening on the very start of their T side. This new version of Nuke, in my opinion, is still somewhat contested in terms of, you know, how sided this is. From the general opinions I've heard in my time, a lot of people still saying it's CT sided, but to be completely honest, a good 80% of the time, I often see it going the other way around. But the thing is, a lot of that does depend on 2 key factors. One is, you know, who gets the early start, who wins the pistol and is able to carry that momentum forward into like a first gun round victory, and how good or bad the T side is at actually really getting like outside and ramp room control. Those are the 2 big key things. But Navi isn't a team that we would not expect to throw away their advantage now that they won the pistol, nor would we expect them to really be bad at taking outside control. And you can see that there is already a large focus on that from the Heroic side of things. Their players stacking out right here for it right now. Flamey moving in, takes down Valde. There's a focus on it, I should say, from Heroic, but that doesn't necessarily mean they are going to be able to stop it. Jumping on the scout, though. Madi looking for some damage. He's not going to find it, unfortunately, at least as much as he would like. He does tag one player towards the end of that one, but Flamey ultimately shuts it down, and we will have Navi continuing to clear out a path. A slow one, but it is a path regardless, as Edward taps away there. Fine Snappy. He'll take him out of the picture. And now you're looking at Nico and Katie as your last 2 standing. Pretty detached from most of what's going on. With Nico hiding over here on the upper rafters in the A-bomb site. Katie down below. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to really work together about this one, so hoping that maybe they can get lucky by lining up a couple headshots here, just doing some economical damage. But in terms of the round itself, it's probably not going to be too likely. In fact, Nico, he did get one from up on those rafters, but the other 2 were promptly traded back out, and Navi do get their second on the board here. Now, only losing, I think it was Edward along the way there, still very clean, and that's what they were looking for to start things off in this half. Very clean first anti-eco. They'll try to do that again here, and they, again, should not have too much of a difficult job doing that, since this is just going to be the trash round from Heroic. And it's a swift push to outside again from Navi here. As I mentioned previously, a very, very key area of the map to be able to get control of. This time it's going to be free for them. The guys on Heroic primarily stacked ramp room, as you can see here, expecting a rush to be deployed. 2 players boosted up on, I guess, this box stack. I don't even know what we really call that anymore. It's the stack of boxes sitting over here in the corner, along with 1 sitting down below, but they're not really going to see much action for the most part. We saw Navi's players just shifting over towards outside, and I don't think Snappy's seen it either here, that they've all already just gone down inside of Secret. So they've got free control. They are being a little bit cautious of the wrap around this corner here that C's is looking at, as it could have been potentially, you know, 1 or 2 players that decided to play out towards the steps here. But everything aligning well for Navi at this point. It's just the delay of them being hesitant for the safety reasons. They actually do swing back up instead, and there's a dig from Snappy over there, who is playing up towards heaven. So, you know, well, calm down, guys. Same team. Careful now. So, little bit of a mistake there, but yeah, it's nothing too big. As the rest of Heroic, well, they just kind of awkwardly end up getting, they just awkwardly find themselves boxed in now to the ramp room. They're not even really going to be able to move in for exit frags. They've made their own grave essentially here. They've dinked Edwards, they push him back. They're actually upholding this quite well. The one SMG just go into the hands of Nico here. I would think he would get a bit more aggressive with it, but Edward just shut down pretty much everyone, and Flamey finishes the job as well. Nico's not even going to get a chance to use that thing. So it's a clean one from Na'Vi again. They only lose Simple, and they will have a nice, clean, only 2 loss start there on their anti-ecos to build up the economy early on. But for Heroic, it is fast investment, specifically from Katie, and going directly onto the op, not wasting any time and toying around with just the rifle rounds here. He's going to go right for that one. Now the curious question is, you know, are we going to see that deployed outside? It seems to be the answer is yes right now, but this is a round where actually Na'Vi are not going to be deploying out there. Immediately he finds himself in a great spot as Cadian. Well, he catches Guardian when he tries to go for the peek there in the A main doorway, shuts him down. That's the upper down for the Na'Vi side of things, but at the same time here, Na'Vi still getting a lot of that outside control. Cadian has had to sacrifice that to be able to pick up that kill, get that advantage. That's where Na'Vi may have a chance to strike back yet. We'll wait and see. The missed shot on Cadian, they only bring him down to 24 HP. It's not the full kill connection that they may have been hunting for. Valde moving in. I do not think that Edward spots him up on top, so he's allowed to get away with some damage there. Again, though, it's not massive. It only brings him down to 58 HP, and they chuck an aim on top of his head just to get as much damage over onto him. He'll sit at 48. Monty waits down at the hell window. Oh, that's actually potentially a bit of a mistake there. I don't know if they called it off properly that Valde was there a moment ago. Oh, that or they must have thought that he had fallen back, but they ended up walking right into him there, so Valde gets himself a free kill. And Navi's been quite restricted because of that. They don't really have any room to work with here at all. T lobby, thankfully they haven't pushed into that yet, so they still have that going for them, but pushing into like old trophy room and whatnot here. As we can see, or old radio I should say, it's new trophy room now, sorry. The trophy room now, Cadian is going to be waiting for them if they do try to make that movement there. As the rest of Na'Vi, again, are really just trying to hope that they can catch a couple of these Heroic players to still swing this back. Again, they've only got 20 seconds left on the clock here. So where are they going to take this towards? Where are they going to actually try to deploy the bomb? Edward sneaking in from down below, but has failed to realize that Snappy's sitting in the corner there. Flamey gets one, gets a second, and Simple got a third. So this round just goes right onto its heels very quickly, and Simple gets yet another kill against Cadian inside of there as well. How did they turn this around? And what? Valde goes down too. That's an incredible turnaround from Na'Vi to somehow be able to win that, a 3v5 from them, essentially turning into a 2v4, I think, after they lose one of their players. Beautifully played by them. Again, that is going to be some real heroics there from Na'Vi, and they get to keep their lead going because of that. Heroic had every advantage they could have asked for there, but when they finally, push comes to shove, and Na'Vi finally kind of intrudes in one of the sites, they just lay right down and they get destroyed. Nicely done from Na'Vi. So it'll be Heroic going down onto an eco here, and we already have seen these, unfortunately, not go so well for the Heroic side of things. Nico hurting himself a bit here. He committed to that duel completely, but it just doesn't really pan out the way he would have hoped. I think Snappy might peek. Oh, apologies, no, he's on the outside there, so he'll just be jumping himself up on top of the shed right now. But Flamey pushing himself in. They'll start to move in for a bit of control, at the very least make some noise towards that A-bomb, so to keep players in position here. But Simple finding another one. Shuts down Snappy as he does push himself all the way around the outside position. Oh, wait, where did that come from? So Cadian gets a Zeus, and then a knife randomly pops up as well. I think he had to have wrapped around or something. I didn't see his position before that, but okay, a little bit of fun, I guess. Now it's just Cadian left alive here in the 1v3, however, as they do trade that back out. And it's still going to look like Na'Vi will take their round, but at least the Heroic guys are willing to have a little bit of fun here. And Cadian actually does decide to go out there and hunt possibly one or two of the players down from Na'Vi, but it's not met with success. Again, really only the UMP is lost. It's not a huge gun that he drops or anything like that. It's not like he goes hunting with an AK or something like that. So he's still just going to buy right back into it. Obviously, overall money totals are going to be lower if he had chosen to stick with that, but it's not even his gun of choice to work with here. He's the opper, so he's still going to be wanting to go and pick that up for these guys to work with too. So just tries to work it out there, and it doesn't play out, but again, not a huge loss or anything like that. And overall, we go right into our next duel here, where Cadian, again, stomping on some of these kills here. He moves in, finds the shot on the Simple, and takes him down. So nicely spotted out from him. He's just going to resolve himself now back over here in the ramp room, chilling out, of course, after picking up that kill onto Simple. And now waiting out to see what Navi's next move is going to be. But it's just going to be Navi for now. Again, after they lost that player, it's always really tough on this map, it seems, for these teams to kind of make up the disadvantage when they do lose a player down, especially for the more passive teams like Navi. They seem to take it even slower in that regard, but finally things are sort of coming together here as they do move their way in. Cadian finding that first kill there against Guardian, knocks him down. He'll try to go up against more as they do move in, finding the second and the third, the fourth overall on the round from him. It's another big one from Cadian. And now just Flamey sits standing on the outside there. So it's that slow play again from Navi, and it just doesn't really work out. It's very easy to read, and obviously Cadian essentially just separates that into 3 individual 1v1s. They don't even really retaliate very well onto him to try and trade that. So that's a nice little 3K that he picks up there inside of the ramp room and comboing it together with the one he got at the beginning against Simple. Well, Flamey, there's just not much for him to do at this point. He's hanging out. Where is he actually at right now? Saw him over there towards over the warehouse. So yeah, he's just going to hang out in the warehouse right now and try to save into the next round. And nobody from Heroic really seems to get the hint at this point, so it does look like that he is going to be surviving heading into the next one here. Carrying the AK, of course, but that's all he's going to get. And the rest of his team, thankfully, because they were on a huge streak here, they still have plenty of cash flow to work with, so they're not going to have any problems rebuying. And obviously, even if it did go down there, it wouldn't actually have been the end of the world. He's sitting on like 13K or something like that if we had the money together, so he had plenty of cash to work with. But a pause is going to be called here. I would assume technical, considering Heroic just won. Unless Navi just want to have some, unless Navi just want to tilt Heroic. In which case, by all means, go for a pause. But this should be resolved in a moment here. Overall, like I said before, though, just been a slow start from Heroic here in trying to really find the impact that they've been looking for. That 2v5 essentially was what it was that happened, was some insane stuff. Like that, they had absolutely no business winning out that round there. So Navi's just kind of been getting away with murder here. Finally, and this isn't the first time we've seen Cadian go off too. Keep in mind, back over on the last map, we almost had that ace from him that happened back over there too, where he was trying to clutch that ball on the T side. So he's been showing us some pretty impressive stuff so far. But we need other players in the team to step up here too, and we've seen that. That's the thing. It definitely hasn't been just Cadian coming out with these clutch situations. We've had some good stuff shown from Nico. He kind of disappeared a little bit though after the first half on the first map. Valde, the same thing from him, and to a certain degree, Madi too. We know Madi can perform. We know that this roster can show up. Pretty much all these players have proven that. But at the moment, at the beginning of this map, we're not seeing that click just yet. But maybe now, off of that victory, we can see them springboard into this one. We do see, however, that Navi is going to try to press for both outside control along with hanging out in the T lobby right now. They won't fully commit themselves either way just yet. And the resistance will primarily be from Valde, but the thing is this is, again, a passive hold, so they will let them essentially escape into the secret stairs. There is resistance downstairs, though, and that's where Snappy is going to attempt to hold. Edward will put a quick end to that one, though. Take him down, and now all of a sudden, Heroic do have to add a bit more defense to the bottom site to try and stop them from pushing back in. We've got Edward and Flamey still sitting down here. They haven't backed up yet, because you keep in mind, I think the bomb is still in T lobby right now, sitting in the hands of Seized. So they haven't tried to move that over towards ramp or anything like that. That's not safe either. But look at this from Simple. Moves in. He flanked all the way outside and took down Nico. Cadian thankfully came up the ladder and got actually a really impressive shot to trade that out quickly. Valde finding another one onto Edward too. So Simple, a good flank, just not able to capitalize as much as I think he was expecting here. So now Guardian, he's going to be tested. Edges up the shot in the corner. Flamey finishes the job for him. More are going to be on the way, and Guardian sinks another one. It's Cadian now, left alive. It was impressive in the last round, but I think this is asking for a bit too much. So he's backing away for the save now, and he's going to let Navi just retrade this back out and get their 6th. And Cadian's basically, they know where he is 100%. So the only question is how much do they want to commit to hunting him. They've got the money. We just saw it in the last round. 9.7k on Flamey. They can definitely afford to go for this. But it is just a long walk with the op. And actually, someone was too close to the bombs. They lose a second guy off of that, too. These are not clean rounds at all from Na'Vi. All of a sudden, they're losing so many players. And that is going to bring down the totals overall. Thankfully, it's still fairly sustainable, though. When we look at guys like Flamey and whatnot, it's just some of the others not having the best of luck with keeping themselves alive at the end of the round. But Heroic is not much better off, as you can see. Able to force buy, or not force buy, apologies. Able to get their full buy going with M4s, and Cadian has the op in hand once again. That's the big weapon. That's been the star player so far. So we have to look to him to find an impact again. But look at outside. He's the only one out here right now, and he's going to get wrapped on. He's not safe from this position at all if they try to hunt him down, and he almost peeks too wide. We see Guardian on top of the big red box there. He'd get flashed out, so he's going to remain safe for now. And the smoke's imperfect, but he got scopes. He's going to let them walk right through, and he misses the shot too. But the bomb was just tossed down. Thankfully, it's in the smoke, though, so he's able to spot it. But Cadian, he's missed so many opportunities to get kills right now. Finally corrects onto it, though. Finds a shot onto Edward and is going to take him down. Guardian flashbang again. This is the second time where he had a chance to kill Cadian but got flashed out of it. And now Cadian's going to take him down. A 5v3 is what this turns into. And it's again Cadian making the impact here for Heroic and allowing them to shut Na'Vi down. I would not call Na'Vi out of this round yet. But in the event that they do eventually just crumble here, you have to give credit to Cadian again for being the one that kickstarts the action. Took him a minute, but he does find the impact there. And Flamey actually hearing the scope inside, so I think he's going to go hunting here for Cadian to try to put a stop to him. He's a little bit slow on the follow-up, though, so Cadian will be long gone. And transition in towards Heaven, but going for the peek outside. He didn't see it. Down below to his left there. I don't think Flamey noticed it either. So he'll just commit to this one, but that leaves Heaven open again. We've already seen a couple flank kills, specifically from Simple, wrapping in towards Heaven in the past couple of rounds. As you look at Flamey here now, he's going to be sneaking up, and this is that flank we were talking about before, but they've adjusted to this finally. They did keep eyes on it this time. Cadian with another pickup. He ends the round with a 3K, and beyond this, it is a Heroic shutdown. 2-6 will be our scoreline. Na'Vi still are going to be able to buy into this, but after this one, as I think Flamey has to donate 1 or 2 weapons over, these guys should basically be on the brink, if not completely out of cash after this following round here. So finally, it took them a pretty long time here, but Heroic have kind of whittled down the cash. And while Na'Vi has still been able to trade out many of the rounds in their favor, they've lost so many players now. It's gotten so inconsistent that you can just see how much is... Oh, we'll look at this more in a moment here as we get some action early on. Trying to bait out a shot from Cadian or anyone, really. And he sees it. Cadian remains very restrained, though, and is actually not going to bite on that. And Snappy sneaking back in. Finally, we see some stuff from him, too. Back over here by the doorway. He finds Guardian early on, shuts it. Smoke will get in the way, but again, this isn't going to be too much out of them. The smoke actually, I think, as well, is too far back, so they can't vent dive off of that. I don't think they would have wanted to, but that option is gone now as well. But for right now, Na'Vi, again, I think are just hanging back and trying to play for picks here. Cadian's been brought down low. Simple hits the shot onto Madi here. Valde in the cubby. Takes him a minute. He almost messes it up, actually, but he gets the frag onto Edward here as well. And now this goes 4v3. With Na'Vi, okay, they get control of the ramp room, but as they shift back in, they are still going to have to deal with Snappy around the corner. Back over here in the control room. They start these spots to spot him, but no, he has the perfect lineup, and Seas just executes him. He's brought down very, very low, granted. But now Heroic are going to have to shift their own players downstairs here. One's gone down into the vents already. Nico in a position here, and he can hear them jumbling around on the site over there. He's actually not going to stick in the vents. He'll just go over towards Decon. And Cadian will be joining him in the moment here. So they already, I think just off of the 2 sounds that we should have just heard, I'm pretty sure that so long as Flamey's read these correctly, they already know where at least 2 of the players are from. Valde finds 1 kill there, and we'll see another trade come out from Seas this time on a Cadian. But now, Flamey having a full read on the situation, sees the player downstairs, does massive damage to them. Seized, finally safe to pop back out. The trade will come in, but Valde knows he no longer has a chance to actually clutch this one back out. So he's got to make a run for it, and it's going to be another one for Na'Vi. They keep it together. They keep it in their favor. 7-2 will be the scoreline. Again, good damage being done, but that's just going to cause another reset against Heroic's favor as they lose their losing bonus once again. There's money left over here, so I actually, again, they should have enough to force this. I think the only one that's really kind of below the limit is Cadian, but he's even not that bad. He'll toss over a gun to Valdi, and Cadian will still be able to work with an M4 and armor at the very least. So that's definitely still a very viable buy. It's just Cadian's not going to get the op, and we've seen how crucial that has been to Heroic's success leading up to this point. So that is still going to be a very large missing piece of the overall buy from Heroic here. Na'Vi, I think, are hanging out at this point and just going for, you can see that up on top there too from Valdi's perspective, as they're all crossing over towards the secret steps and they're keeping themselves quiet about it. But that smoke setup, if assuming there was anyone outside to watch this, which actually there might not have been, they would have very easily been able to detect what is going on, but because I don't think they put anyone out here, they're actually sneaking back into it now. So Valdi's got to get prepped for a big load of action sitting on the downstairs position now as these guys do prepare to push up against him. He's going to be sitting at the bottom of the steps. A flashbang connects right into his face. The second one moves in, but that one misses. It doesn't matter though. Edward decks Valdi down to the ground, and that's it. The site's under their control. Marty's walks right in and gets destroyed, and not only him either, but C's is going to find Nico. Snappy at the very least traded a kill on a Simple, but I think this was happening in a different position as the rest of the remaining four were the main pushing for. Simple was detached from the main unit here. And now Na'Vi in full control. Well, look, they're even allowed to spread back out and hunt down these kills. They know that they're not going to go for this one. They know they're going to fall back and save. Edward's already found Cadian. And now it's just Snappy, who is going to try to maintain himself alive here. Edward even etching out 25 damage here onto Snappy. So he knows where he's falling back from. And everyone on Na'Vi, look at this. They're going to hunt him down. They want to drop these guns as quickly as possible. They know they've got him somewhere around the corner here. They'll try to line up as many kills as possible, but, well, as many is unfortunately going to be 0. He won't get a single one in that situation there while trying to save. He did take down Simple moments before this, but it's still Na'Vi that'll drop the gun, and that's what's important here because the money from Heroic is once again just down in the dumps. They have nothing to work with here, an average amount of $2,000. Obviously, Body's got a little bit more to spend, of course, but it's not enough to go off of anything. So the only investments that we can see is just the P250 on Valdi and Madi going for the flashbang. That's all that they have to work with here, and other than that, it is a Na'Vi round entirely, unless some very large mistakes are made. And we'll see again here, the Na'Vi players just spreading their way across the map for the most part. Still slow played, still the Na'Vi you come to know and love. This is nothing straying too far from them. And there's nothing too bad about being safe, especially with what I'm assuming is going to be Na'Vi, knowing exactly how the economy is currently positioned for Heroic too. So they should have a pretty good idea of that, especially now they're on an eco. Simple again, this is another thing too that they keep letting Simple do. Granted, again, this is happening on the eco round, so overall very little consequence, but this has happened on gun rounds as well, where they basically just let Simple walk through, either out on this raptor here now where they are fighting, or through the other direction they just went, just creeping through the ramp room, leading it over towards hell, where him or someone else is just allowed to go towards heaven, and that gives them really easy control of the map that they really can't seemingly at least can't afford to be giving over, and is constantly leading to losses, which allows Na'Vi to crunch on the sites and just shut them down. And that round shows you another example of that happening yet again in Simple's favor. Heroic, well, they've got enough cash to invest into this one too. And from this time, it's going to be Na'Vi. They just flood right out onto the A-bomb, so they're not going to waste any time about this one. They've already got 1 kill. Nico, however, behind the generators, he does pick up 1 kill, but goes aggressive. Swings out wide, where he will be traded in. Edward falling back now, catching Madi on the flank position. One is sneaking up on the ladder there. He has not been seen yet. Valdi is playing peekaboo right now with Edward, and Edward, I think his gun is actually in the way. He hasn't been able to see because of that one. So he's looking for the right moment. Edward still has not seen him. Wait a second. Finally, he leaped back up. No! He missed the chance. Edward went into the smoke. And now he just got to back away. Edward knows what's happening. The flashbang downstairs. There's no reason to pressure that. It's more than likely still going to lead to the death of any members of Na'Vi that would try to leap down for that one. And Cade, in the meantime, is long gone. He's sitting way over here. Inside of CT spawn here, trying to save the op. Thankfully, Vali's in a pretty safe spot too, so they should be able to hunt him down. These 2 CT players that are going to save will make it out of here, but ultimately, again, it's Na'Vi just running away with the lead now, 10-2, with just a couple rounds left in the half here. Their money has remained strong. It's come to the brink on a couple occasions of being broken by Heroic, despite them only having 2 rounds on the board. But they just haven't been able to push it over that edge. So Na'Vi has maintained their economy throughout this entire half so far, and they've been able to just keep it going. regardless of what Heroic are able to throw at them. And not only this too, but now that the economy's gotten really rough, like Cadian, he has the op this time, but it's become a much lessened occurrence previously to what we had seen before. However, look what's going on with Mahdi right now. Picking up 3 kills over here on the ramp. Edward finally takes him down, but still the damage has already been done. Mahdi with those 3 kills. Valde finding another one. It's down to Edward all of a sudden in a 1v4. He's the one carrying the bomb and he has plenty of utility, but this is still rough. Mahdi may have just single-handedly won them the round. We'll see what Edward can do here. But more than likely, with a minute still to go onto the clock, he will get knocked out. If he clutches this, this would be incredibly impressive from Edward. I apologize for the T-Tours and not catching the 3K from Mahdi, guys. There is actually, fun fact, an observer about 10 feet behind a wall in front of me. It's actually more like 3 feet behind a wall in front of me. But he's trying to sleep right now. So, yeah. It's a DJ. If you guys want him, you'll have to tweet at Prius CSGO. Wake up and come observe for blue. So Edward's sneaking his way down. Again, he's running the timer off here pretty low too. Door being open, no, they'll know he's inside. If he can get the plan at this point, that's great. Or at least get the money. But actually winning this would be a whole nother thing. So Edward's going to be hanging out. He can hear them shuffling around. And there's 3 of them coming down through the vents. However, he does not try to line that up, though. He actually does back out behind the doors here. Nade will go in. That's not going to do much. It's the player up on top of the steps, but he actually gets flashed by a teammate, so they can't get that kill. Thankfully, Snappy, though, was coming in from the ramp room. And they are going to bring him in over there through the control room. So they'll be able to defuse this bomb, and Heroic will still manage to get themselves their 3rd round here. Picking up something at the very least. And some good stuff from Mahdi there, too. Again, we unfortunately didn't catch it on the camera, but Mahdi gets a nice 3K inside of the ramp room with the UMP and shuts down the approach from Navi there. So that pretty much destroys that round on its own. And now Navi, of course, still with a very comfortable lead, regardless of the outcome of these last 2 rounds, but they'll buy directly back into this next one. Heroic, of course, have reinvigorated themselves a little bit off of that victory, but now, again, the ultimate task is to keep it consistent, because these 3 rounds have all been detached, and every single time they've been reset, which has caused so many issues for them as well. It's going to be some outside control moving in from Navi after a little bit of delay, though. Moving in from here. A lot of the focus from Heroic, however, is not actually on maintaining the status quo outside and keeping Navi back. They're playing into the secret steps quite a bit here. Valde down below. He did some massive damage from here before, and now he's got a chance to do it again. He's already killed 1, spotted the 2nd, but Guardian up on top of the Twinkie. Well, unfortunately, Guardian won't get a piece of the action there as the Molly is going to keep Valde down for right now. Nico, though, knows they're on the way now after seeing that one, so he'll position himself outside of the A main push. Takes out Seized. They do try to nade someone in the corner, but fortunately that person's invisible, non-existent. So that nade is going to be all but useless here, except to give away, potentially, if someone was paying close enough attention, the position of the T sitting inside of that room right there. Guardian still lurking around, hunting for that pick onto Valde, but there's another player he's got to worry about, and it's Cadian. Perfect distraction from up on the top side there. Cadian looks away just as Guardian lines up the angle and makes it a very simple duel to win. Now Simple himself, he's still trying to sneak in through the mini shed, and again, look, they've lurked their way around, they've managed to get Heaven control, they've stolen this away from the Heroic guys so many times, but this round is not done by any means just yet. Heroic, they pick up 2 more very important kills, and it's now fallen to Edward here with 9 HP, trying to clutch this out in 1v2, 10 seconds left on the clock. He's got to go out blind into the open here, and Valde is going to get his 3rd kill on the round to clutch it back out there. Heroic with a 4th. Again, finally finding their stride, but the only question is, does this come in too late, and are they going to bring a much better T-side to this map now? We would hope they would. It's their map pick, but this first half has not given us a whole lot of assurance of that one, so needing still, regardless, to reset going into that second half, and with a 5-10 scoreline, definitely needing the pistol and the following 2 rounds without disruption to be able to, at the very least, give yourself a chance at kickstarting back into this one. And Guardian finding a nice shot onto Cadian immediately, knocking him out of the round here. Valde, they know he's somewhere around this garage area here as well, so they're trying to figure him out. Thankfully, he's managed to remain anonymous for a few more seconds here, but Flamey eventually catching him out. knocking him down. And now Snappy feels safe to push himself inside of the T lobby. They know for a fact there is no presence here. Most of the remaining members of Na'Vi here, or all of the remaining members of Na'Vi, I should say, are still sitting up topside right now. Heroic are trying to compensate for this by getting a little bit more aggressive, but that's not really working out here. Simple, he'll move himself in. And we'll be able to connect quite a bit of damage on Nico, who tries to get aggressive moving up the staircase there. Simple as well. Pops right back down. Goomba's Nico takes him out. And now it's Snappy and Madi still trying to hold on. And they've had to split 1-1 onto the sites too, which is the worst part. Snappy is trying to make up for this by getting a bit more aggressive, leading out into the T lobby way. But yeah, Simple, again, you're not going to win that close up, unfortunately, Snappy. So now you're looking at just Madi left alive. 1v5. Not a whole lot of hope for him, but nothing to save either. So might as well just sit back, relax, and see what he can do, which may just be getting wrecked here in a moment, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Flamey gets that last kill, and it is an 11-4 half. Oh my god. Excuse me 1 second. Sorry about that. That was my alarm. I originally was informed sorry about that, guys. I originally was informed that this was going to be starting at 9 a.m. not 6 a.m. So I set an alarm for 8 a.m. originally, and I forgot to turn it off when I set my new alarm for 5 a.m. So that's my bad. All right, well, let's get into the second half here now, guys, and take a look at what Heroic have to offer us now to swing the comeback. And we are going to see Heroic just swing into the T lobby way. There's no outside aggression coming in at all. They are, at first glance, of course, it just appears as though they are going to swing directly into the A-bomb site. But look at how close Na'Vi are holding on this one. Simple grabs one, but that's actually really it. I thought they would have a lot more inner pressure. It's not really the case. Thankfully, rotations are coming in fast. Guardian and Edward both picking up kills to really shut this one back down here. There's another one from Edward. Oh. I didn't know denies existed in CS, but apparently they do. Edward takes down Guardian, and Snappy is now left as the last man standing. So we'll see what he can do, but it's basically a firing squad lined up if he goes in that room. He's going to try to sneak it back out towards Hell instead. And see if he can wrap around onto these guys, but I think they're paying attention to this possibility too. No, he actually goes all the way around. I thought... So he's going to try to take this back around towards T lobby way. The problem is, ultimately, right, he's taking all this time. Time is not really the problem here for Snappy. It's just the fact that the guys on Na'Vi have bomb control, and they have every single angle accounted for right now. So unless Snappy is an ace with these headshots as soon as he enters the site, he is more than likely just going to find himself dead the second he peeks, which, there we go. There's the first shot. He gets it. 20 seconds remaining now to try to forge his way in. He gets the second one. Hold on now. I thought he was dead, but maybe he has a chance at this one yet. Unfortunately, Seized is going to put an end to things before it can go any further. He'll take out Snappy, and Na'Vi will indeed close out the pistol. It came down to a 1v1, but they do take it in their favor, and this is the darkest timeline now for Heroic. They lose control of it. They don't even get a plant, so they will just go for the Tech 9 armor buy. The exception currently of Madi. Yeah, Madi's going to be saving down a little bit to get them a little bit of extra cash heading into that first gun run, which may prove to be one of their only real chances to invest here. If they can get a plan in this situation, it'd be great. But again, it's the same strat. They're not actually moving for outside control at all. They're all just hanging out in the T lobby way. And, well, that's gung-ho for Simple. He's going to be able to move right in there. Finds one, looking for more. He actually didn't get the cue that they had all pushed back out here. So the trades are favoring Heroic to a certain degree at this point. Na'Vi now going to move back in, though, from the lower sites. And they'll very quickly restore things back down to reality as a Seized comes out there pretty big, gets himself a nice little 2K, and they shut it down to get their 13th. Dropping a couple players, but the 2K is not going to be really significant in the long run of things here, especially now that Heroic has to full save. Oh, never mind. They are going in on this one. It's another Tech 9 armor buy for Heroic. and 1 SMG going on to Valde. So this will be interesting. We'll see if this catches them off guard by any degree, but if not, then they're going to kind of waste this round here and limit their potential to really round a comeback at all. They're just trying to prevent Na'Vi from getting closer to that 16 round market by any means necessary. But we will see in a moment. Edward chiming in there, though. That's the second round in a row. Someone just moved in and tapped off the kill. The damage trade has been okay, but he's just going to go and probably hug this corner back over here. It's a little bit of an awkward angle. Thankfully, the other aggressors that tried to push their way in, mainly towards Trophy and back into the lobby again, have been shut down. So this has been evened out. This has been brought into a 3v3. And Heroic still actually have a chance to upset here. They've managed to pick up a second SMG as well. So they're in good form right now. Beyond this, though, Edward has put himself as the watchdog of the ramp room. He cannot peek out due to that low HP. And we'll see where Seized and Guardian are watching out from. Again, very, very passive angles being taken now. Guardian's probably the one that's playing point contact here, and Seized actually goes all the way down the vents just to make sure they didn't kind of wrap their way outside to a secret play. He'll be completely detached from all of this action, so it's all the Guardian show on the inside here. And without that op, he'll only be able to impact on a 1 kill. Gets good damage to follow it up on Acadian, bringing him down to 14 HP. And Snappy's now with him, too. Smoking off everything like that. And Seized, he'll be... No. They get baited into the trap real hard there. And Seized drops down the ladder, takes down the player that pushes first. And then we see the second one just gets thrown down the garbage chute as he's shot from the backside. It's Na'Vi that still pick it up there. They do recover after almost what was almost an upset. And of course now Heroic, well, they're not really going to be able to invest really heavily here, as they do need to save for the actual gun round. They force again. It's really going to be another similar buy to this one. So they go for 3 Deagles, 2 P250s, and that is it. And assuming that they lose this one, they're going to need to go 11 straight and take us to OT. But they may not lose this one, as they started off very strong. Madi moving in, finding Guardian to take him down, and that's very fast control of the secret room. Simple, though. We'll put a stop to Madi going any further than that, as he does eliminate them, and more reinforcements are on the way. They also tried to go for the vent drop, and, well, now the bomb's under their control. Simple with yet another kill for himself to rack back up onto the scoreboard there. He spots Valde further back. Valde actually does get a bit of an advantage here, so Simple is going to safely move back to the steps. There's no reason for them to sacrifice their own lives in this situation. And Snappy, well, brute forces his way into another kill against Edward, of course. But there's still a lot more work to do here. At least now, scavenging rifles for both of the remaining both of the remaining T's here. So they've got some extra firepower. No armor behind them, should be noted. And only a single smoke now for these T's to get back into the B-bomb site. And that's obviously the biggest problem. We had this happen back on the pistol round too, is that, okay, you know, they've managed to calm the situation down a little bit to where they're not completely outmatched by manpower, but they essentially, in a certain way, have to become the CTs now, as they have to move in and retake control of this bomb site and take control of it while they're outnumbered. They're down to only 2 players, and also one of them is very heavily lit to 6 HP. We can see now Valde inching in for it, but immediately just gets destroyed, and Snappy, well, 20 seconds left. He could fall back and save for this if he wants to, but it does appear as though he's going to go for the peak now. Flash works directly in coalition with the peak that he goes for here. And yeah, we all know what that means. Seized will shut it down, and Na'Vi will get themselves up to match point here. Keep in mind, of course, they already won the first map, so taking this one, they will indeed earn their spot at IEM Katowice to be able to push forward as well into this bracket. And the big investment does come in for Heroic. This is it now. They'll need to try and go 11 rounds straight to be able to take this one into overtime. My spidey senses are telling me, though, that that might not happen, but we'll wait and see. Sometimes we're surprised about things. Madi, though, already being shot a little bit through the doorway there, as he makes a whole lot of noise creeping up to it. And this is actually fairly fast control for the Heroic guys. Back over here, down into the secret steps, leading down into the site. But 4 of them have fully committed to it. Nobody's decided to watch the backside, and that's where Guardian's going to be able to move in and start the punishment here. Moving around, he'll be able to take down Snappy and take him down. Eliminating him. Everything else goes quiet across the map. Heroic really just hoping that they can get some sort of an advantage. But again, more kills for Seized. His E-Tags 2 from down below. They do try to push their way towards the B bomb site here. The remaining T's are going to group up, but Guardian's able to call this. Cadian getting at least 1 pickup here. against Simple, but there's so much more work to do. And look at who's going to be flanking them in a moment. They do have the kill on Deceased finally, and Cadian is watching for the flank right now, but there comes Guardian. He'll take down Cadian, and the watch flank does not meet out. And now Wamadi's stuck in the crossroads here, and he does just get shut down by Edward. So that's going to end it, guys. That is going to be Na'Vi taking control of map number 2. They will go 2-0 in this set. They will earn their slot at IEM Katowice, so congratulations to them indeed. They will push forward for this one, and that is going to close out this match for now, guys. We still have more coverage coming up here from the European and North American side of things. However,